opponents will be saying, where's your defence industrial base behind that? How long does your arsenal last? Because if you run out of bullets by the end of the week, you're not capable of fighting a real war.
Clearly, Edward, this has been planned for a few years. Tell me a little bit about the sort of shifting of troops to the eastern frontier and when that idea would have surfaced and why it's imperative now.
Yes, you're quite right. We were planning this, Mario, we were planning this 4 years ago because it's one of the long-planned major NATO exercises. It was planned before Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And even then, given what Russia had done in Crimea in 2014 and in Ukraine in 2014, we had put a lot of effort into NATO. And so this was always going to be a big exercise. But what's going on in Ukraine at the moment makes it ever more important that we demonstrate NATO's resolve.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you next, in fact. You know, what difference do you expect it to make? Is it really just a sort of demonstration of might, like the North Korean leader might have on his one day a year when he rolls out all his armaments?
Well, yes, I would certainly caution that any announcement that seems to be suggesting that this has been done in direct reaction to Russia's war in Ukraine is wrong, or that, look, we've got these forces that we just happen to have lying around and we're going to put this exercise on as a demonstration. We've had 4 years to make sure we have had the exercise participants ready and able to do this. And we also have to make sure, though, that we are investing in the breadth and depth of defence, which is what's required to actually support those who are doing the real fighting against Russia at the moment, which is the Ukrainians. So I wouldn't want us to be seen to be, if you like, overdressing the shop window here at the expense of the back room of the store where the real work is done, because the real fighting is still going on in Ukraine, and we shouldn't forget that.
So would you say it is a bit of window dressing?
No, I think both have to be done. I'm saying we need to get the balance right. And I think it's fair to say across the coalition, the rhetoric has always led the reality. Whether it was in supplying tanks, whether it was in F-16s, which still haven't materialised, or even in putting in place the contracts for ammunition, where the US has led the way, but even the US by 2028 will only be producing enough 155 millimeter artillery shells to cover what Ukraine uses at the moment, and Europe is lagging behind America. So I wouldn't want us to see this display of force as somehow being all that we have to do. It shows that NATO is prepared. It shows that NATO has a good integrated international command structure to run such operations. But I think NATO now has to demonstrate it's got the engine room behind, because all wars end up being economic wars of production.
Do you think that NATO, I mean, very clear at the moment that the world is a much more dangerous place, as it were. Do you think that NATO have been slightly on the back foot up until now?
I think it's the nature of peacetime politics, isn't it, to spin what you do and make the best of it. The government, has a grid to maximise its announceables throughout the year. But that can be very dangerous in wartime, because the reality can be called, in the most testing crucible there is, which is the battlefield. And I think it is fair to say that the rhetoric, doing whatever it takes, will be there for however long it takes, can lead to us doing just enough across the West to keep Ukraine in the game, but not winning. And of course, every month that goes on, Ukrainians are dying.
Indeed.
And yes, I would like to see us step up a gear and do those basic things, which nevertheless require investment. However, that investment is investment in our own capacities. As Admiral Bob Bauer, the most senior military officer in NATO, the chairman of the military committee, recently said, we have now reached the bottom of the barrel. So we can display the frontline forces in peacetime, that they can do these military manoeuvres that look impressive, but our opponents will be saying, where's your defence industrial base behind that? How long does your arsenal last? Because if you run out of bullets by the end of the week, you're not capable of fighting a real war. So we need to invest to reinforce what we have taken in the peace dividends since 1989, and that capacity will be very useful for Ukraine right now.